Well, this one stings a little. An error is the difference as the Orioles fall to the Nationals in the series finale 6-5, and we're breaking it down on MASN All Access Xtra as we bring in Melanie Newman, who is still at the ballpark after this tough loss. And Melanie, the error was the difference. You look at the stat lines, 6 runs for the Nats, 5 for the O's, 8 hits apiece, and the one Rio Ruiz error in that 8th inning was the difference in this one.
You talk about a heartbreaker, Paul. I mean, really, Rio's defense has been so on point all season. The emotional reaction, he punched the ground after he knew that it had happened. And you just hate to see it. I mean, it was a throw that was wide by an inch. And otherwise, it's in the glove. Nunez has a great stretch, and it's good to go. But you look at it, too, there were 2 free base runners during this game. Both of those came home to score, and it ultimately made the difference today. And we know how Hyde feels about walks.
Yeah, absolutely. He does not like to see it from his relievers in particular. First pitch strikes. That seems to be his motto with his relievers, and that has been what they have gotten through the first couple weeks of the season, but not today. The Bats did battle back, however, against Max Scherzer, no less. They came all the way back after trailing early and tied it up at 5. We saw a 3-run home run from Pedro Severino. We saw 2 home runs from Anthony Santander. So I guess, Melanie, you could be a little bit encouraged, at least by the fact that this offense just will not quit.
Well, and it was silly of me because while I was going over and making some notes of what I'd seen in the game, by the 5th, 6th inning, I thought, are we going to be able to get going? We know what Scherzer is capable of doing, and it's the first time the Orioles have seen him this year, so they haven't really gotten to have that read on him. And then I forgot, oh, right, we have a plus 1,000 OPS in the later innings of the game, and they proved that. And, I mean, you look at all 3 of those home runs, just skimming both of the foul poles. You certainly have to love the spray chart for what these guys are putting into action and their ability to answer late. They are sick of being told that they're, quote unquote, not supposed to be winning right now. And I think they really put that to heart on the field.
That's true. And John Means left this game early. That was one of the more concerning parts of this. Just after recording just 2 outs, gave up 3 runs in that first inning. Looked like he just didn't quite have it. Of course, hadn't pitched in 12 days and was still dealing with the loss of his father. Jorge Lopez came in and actually, at a long relief, his first appearance with the Orioles, he did a pretty solid job in terms of making sure that this game did not get out of hand. What do you think of Lopez's outing coming in place of John Means?
Yes, so, I saw Lopez as a Biloxi shucker in 2015, and he's definitely grown since that time. Not a guy that I would have tabbed initially to say, yeah, he can go 4 innings. He was maybe an inning 2 at best at that point, but you have to trust that the scouting and analytics department saw something in him. The numbers weren't reflecting, but what can they do with those raw tools that he brings into it? He executed some pitches really well today, some elusive stuff coming in, cutting outside of the zones because he knows while the Nationals got to a slow start in that week away from the Orioles, they figured it out. So 4 innings to really come in and pick up Means, who, like you said, you don't want to make excuses for players, but without a sim game, he has to come back at some point. And unfortunately, it went the way that it did for him today.
And the Orioles dropped the series to the Nationals, which there was a whole lot of optimism after yesterday's loss, but then you do remember these are the defending World Series champions, so you should temper your expectations. But they are still above 500, still very much in play in the AL East, and they face a Blue Jays squad that has been scuffling a little bit, and they're at home for the entirety of the week. Do you see some opportunities for the O's to pick up some wins here?
You have to, and especially like you said, the way that Toronto really hasn't found their identity yet this year either, and I'm sure being homeless for half of that didn't exactly help them, but that's something that the Orioles should feast on at this point. Not announced, but you're expecting to see guys like Cobb who are starting in the series as well. So again, people who are dependable, who are getting more stretched out. I'd love to see a second quality start from somebody in this coming series. Time to really get these guys rolling, get some more innings, and save that bullpen a little bit because we're not always going to get to have those games like today where we get as much of a big backup as they did.
And we've said it once, we'll say it a million times, the Orioles have the ability to flush games like no other team in baseball, so they'll have an opportunity to do so tomorrow. Melanie Newman joining us from a suite up at Oriole Park at Camden Yards. Thanks so much for hopping on to break down this game.
Thanks, guys. We'll bounce back tomorrow.